Okay guys, welcome back. So today we are taking this image into Photoshop. No long talk, all right? No long talk. We're taking this image right here into Photoshop and we are editing it further. So we already have a video on the channel where we did where we talk about the Lightroom adjustment, where we did all the necessary Lightroom adjustment before taking it into Photoshop. So but today we are just gonna go into Photoshop. So if you want to know how we did all of these adjustments and all of that in the image and all of that, we already have a video there. I want you to go see it. All right, so right about now we are going straight to Photoshop. So our tutorial for today, we are editing with Adobe Photoshop 2022. The techniques I'm showing you here, you can also use it for Adobe CS5, Adobe CS4. You can also use it for all of that as well. So I'm not showing you anything that is complex. All right, we are in Photoshop. So I am gonna go straight up and do the whole frequency separation thing from ground up. So but before we go into the frequency separation, one of the things I like to do is I like to take my what's the name of this tool again, my spot healing brush tool, and just go over the image, make a few adjustments, remove some of those blemishes that are very distracting in the image. Just take them off like that, take them off like so, take them off here, and there. Just take them off, take them off. Just gonna go through. I think I'm okay with that. Most of the times I just do it for the face only, and that is it. I don't really go much further than the face. Okay, now we are good. Now secondly, another thing I like to do again before doing my frequency separation thing, it's now you'll notice that we are still prepping our image further because we really want to get that nice texture when we are done at the end of the day. So I'm going to duplicate this layer right here. I want my image to have that texture. I want it to be what you call sharp. I like to call my texture. So I've duplicated my image right here using Control or Command J. I'm going to filter, I'm going to others, and I'm going to high pass. Now here I'll set my high pass at 1.9 is too much. I'll set it at 1.5, and then I'll come here and click the linear light. Now notice what is happening to our image. Our image has regained a lot of that texture, but the texture is just too much. We don't want it to be too much. I'm just going to turn down. Remember, there's no particular way of doing stuff. As an artist, everybody have a concept or something in mind that they are trying to create. So depending on what you're trying to create, you might want to add that sharpness or that texture and leave it like that, or you might want to turn it down. For me, I'm turning it down because I feel it's too much. So look at what we have just done there. That's the before and after. Our image is looking sharper and the texture it's coming out more. So what I like to do at this point, I'll just click the image, the particular layer, match both layers together, and then I can now do my frequency separation thing. So I've duplicated my layer into 3 using Command J. Like you can see here, I've off the first layer in front, I'm in the middle layer. I'm just going to go to blur, Gaussian blur, and do the whole frequency. Why do I feel the need to do frequency, all this frequency separation technique from ground? Or why do I feel the need to do it? Well, I'm just going to take my time to do it because I don't want to assume that everybody watching this video knows how to do frequency separation. I'm going to blur that one. I'll come back to my layer, the first layer. Sometimes we call the first layer the high frequency layer. So we're going to go to image. I've selected a first layer there. We go to image, and then we select a second layer, which is the one in the middle, and we go to our blending option. I will change our blending option to subtract. Don't forget to leave your scale at 2 and your offset at 128. Then we're going to click OK. We go back to our linear light, and then we our blending options and change our linear light off, the linear change the blending option to the high frequency layer, that's the first layer there, and change it to linear light. So this is what we have. So you'll notice I have 3 layers here. I'm just going to explain. The up layer, like I said, is the high frequency layer. The second one down there is the one that was blurred, and then the third layer, it's the original. I like to leave this third layer because every now and then I like to make reference to my original image if I'm doing okay or if I'm not doing okay. So I leave the original layer there, and supposedly I make a mistake along the line and I need to go back, and start all over again. I already have the original image there to fall back on. So that is why I like to have 3 layers there during my frequency separation. So I'm just going to off this one, and I'm going to go to my mixer brush right now. Selected my mixer brush. My wet is set at 18. My load is set at 18. My mix is set at 19. My flow is also set at 19. All right. This one is also set at 10%. Excuse me. Also set at 10%. So that's the settings for my mixer brush. So I'm going to take a very small brush and I'll start going over the face of the image. Now what we are doing with the mixer brush, don't forget, we are just blending the skin. You find out that there's a lot of things going on in the skin right now. A lot of, I don't know if it's colors, I'm going to call it. So we're just going to go over the skin and blend and try to blend some of those areas and make it match. So be patient while we go through this. If there are places where I need to fast forward it, I'm going to fast forward it because I don't want the tutorial to be that long. So there it is. I'm blending with the mixer brush. There it is. Okay. Yep. There it is. Depending on depending on the individual, people have a lot of people have their settings set differently, but 99% of the time people get messed up on this stage of the editing, because when you are using the mixer brush, sometimes people get too excited with the mixer brush, and so they don't really know the areas where they are supposed to blend or how they are supposed to blend. So this is why it is not always advisable when you're watching a tutorial for you to be fast forward it. Don't just assume like you know what the person is going to do. Now be patient with yourself when you are learning. I say to people all the time, when you're learning, be patient with yourself. Don't just assume that you know what the person is doing. Now I want you to observe the concept, how I'm blending the image. Observe how I'm blending the image. I'm not going, I'm not taking the blend from here and bringing it right here. Just need you to observe. I'm going to make a really a little before and after here for you, so that you can see what I am doing. Okay, so so far this is the adjustment we have made. You see how much that blending is helping right there. You see how we have been able to blend that skin together. So keep watching. We are not done yet. We're still doing the face. We're still going to do this over the entire image. Now there are places where I am avoiding on purpose, because our face has this dimension that if you are not careful when doing the whole mixer brush thing, you can mess up the dimension of the face. So that is another thing again that makes you a professional. Now one of the things that really makes you a professional is not really how perfect your image is looking. Professionalism does not really mean that your image is looking so perfect and spotless, but you want to be able to do an image that that is looking very, very natural, that the client can be like, wow, it's beautiful and it looks like me. Have you ever edited a photograph for a client and you send it to them and say, no, this is not looking like me? Is the image perfect? Yes. Is the image beautiful? Yes. But you have taken the time to over transform client, and so the image is rejected. So you don't want to spend that much time, on something, and at the end of the day the person be like, no, 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 this does not look like me at all. So that is why you want to take your time when editing the image. Try as much as possible to make sure that your client look as natural, your subject looks as natural as possible, and yet perfect at the end of the day. So try as much as possible to do that whenever you are making or doing your editing, right? Patient, watch, don't rush, don't skip. And somebody's trying to skip that video right there. I see you're getting tempted trying to skip that video right there. Watch, because I really want you to observe how I'm blending my image. I really want you to observe, most importantly, observe the things I am not doing. Observe the areas where I am, I'm avoiding on purpose. Areas like this, you will notice that the curve on the chin here, I've avoided that curve on purpose. The curve on that chin. So just watch, and see what I am doing. Okay. You see our skin. The skin is beginning to make sense right now because we are being patient with our blending process. So as the skin is it's getting better and better and better. Oh, wow, this is beautiful already. Let's just see a quick before and after. See that? Wow, that's it. Okay, we're doing a good job. Doing a good job. Stay with me. I know you have a place to go. I know you want to skip that tutorial and go watch something else, but remember, this has always been an issue whenever you're editing or doing your frequency separation. So please do not skip. I'm looking at you right now. Do not skip. Yes. Now let's go over to her hands. Okay. Tutorials like this are very always necessary to sharpen your skills, introduce you to some of those things that you didn't know before. Some people just wake up one morning and start increasing the price for their services. Bro, don't do that unless you are really giving people value for their money. Okay, please don't do that. All right, make sure that before you increase your price, you are giving people value for their money. By giving people value for their money, by that I mean that you're really taking the time to put yourself out there to learn new concepts and new skills to improve on what you know already, and to make sure that you are really giving people value for their money. So don't just wake up one morning and say, no, I'm charging 100,000 naira now per outfit for my shoot. Are you really giving people value for that kind of services? And don't wake up one morning and start talking about a photographer that is charging more, on their craft. What effort are you putting, for you to be able to charge that rate? Make sure you're really putting that effort in terms of gears, and most importantly in terms of skills. All right, because sometimes when brands are reaching out to us, they're not reaching out to us because they have taken inventory of the gears that we have. Sometimes they don't even see our gears, but what they see, it's results. That's what brands they see. They see results. They just go, oh wow, I like what you do with your images. I like how you transform your images. I like how you edit your image. So what they see is result. They don't really see the work. They don't really see how much time it takes you to edit the photograph that they appreciate. They don't see the investment you have to make in terms of skills, you know, for you to be able to get to that level of professionalism. So take your time, make all the necessary investment you're supposed to make before you start, you know, charging for charging that price. Now this area, I've made a little selection around this area because what I'm about to do, I don't want it to go beyond the area of her thighs right here. So I've made a little selection around the area where I want to blend, where I want to brush or blend, whatever the case may be. Okay, so we've selected our thighs right there. Okay, now let's start blending. Let's start blending. There it is. Okay. Whenever you make a mistake, don't forget you have your history, what do you call it? Is it dialog box? Dialog box kind of sound like cake, but you have your history panel there. I think panel is a better word right there, where you can just, you know, go back and make and undo some of those actions before you continue. Okay, there it is. The tires coming out great already. Now remember, like I said earlier, there is no particular way of doing what I am doing right now. That is why people have different workflow. People like to stick on a particular workflow that makes them more efficient when doing their work. So you also want to have a particular workflow. Let's go back and see a little before and after. You can see what we have done, right? Mixer brush, and you agree with me that it was just worth it. It was worth it going with the whole mixer brush thing, you know, blending our image. You can see the effect it has on our image. So what I'm going to do further right now is that we are going to start blending it further. Now in this episode of blending it further, I'm going to select my magic wand tool right here, and I'm going to make selections on certain areas of the images, you know, and then we can now blend it further from there. This is just the final step of our blending. So now notice how I'm making my selection. I am, you know, intentionally I'm avoiding the dark areas and I'm making my selection in the bright areas. And not just the bright areas, like I mentioned earlier, remember the face has dimensions. So you don't want to get too excited with this thing and mess the dimension of the face. Now notice there is a curve from here to this point right here. And so we don't want to, you know, mess that up. So that's why I'm making my selection in this area. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that selection, Control C or Command V, and Control C or Command C on Mac, Control C and or Command V to paste as well. So I've just made a selection of that area, copied, and I've pasted on a different layer. That is the selection of that area sitting right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my blur, and I'm going to go to Gaussian blur. Now I'm going to take my radius up until I get the results that I am looking for. It's too much. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Remember, there's no particular way of doing this thing, but depending on what you're trying to achieve with your image, I think about that area is fine for me. And then now I'm going to go to the next one. I think I'm going to post a Google link of this image also, and on the description, on video description. So just check the video description right now, and you see a Google link of this image right here, so that you can also use it for practice as well. Sorry, I shot the image. I didn't shoot the image in RAW. It was shot in JPEG. That was why we had to, in fact, do a lot of adjustment, because you notice the image was not really that in focus of the camera. But then, for just tutorial purposes, it was the best image for us to use for this tutorial. Okay, because this image kind of depicts some of the images you get from your cameras, because sometimes I don't want to assume that everybody has the luxury of affording high-end cameras, because sometimes some of those textures, if you are shooting on with a high-end camera, you can just get it, but I just don't want to assume. So this was a perfect one. So if your image is from a high-end camera, some of those adjustments we did there. You will not have to stress yourself that much to get some of the results that we were going for in this image. So about there is fine. So now observe how I'm making my selection. And this is another area again where people make mistake with their frequency separation. They don't understand that the face has a dimension, that once you make a mess of that dimension of the face, once you make a mess of it, and that is it, your image is not going to really turn out professionally well the way you wanted it. So here we go. About there, it's fine for me. Moving on, go to the chin, go to our chin, go to our chin, and then go back to the Gaussian blur. So take down the radius a little bit. About there, it's fine for me. Okay, moving on. Don't forget, we are still on her face. Moving on. Okay, copy, paste, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. You can almost sing it. You can almost sing it. Okay, here we go. Now we're gonna go to the neck area. So neck area, there. It's fine. Just filter, blur, Gaussian blur. What I did there, I repeated my last action, and then I realized that it didn't really give me what I wanted. So I have to go back to the whole Gaussian blur process and try to set my radius to the quantity that I want. Okay, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. There it is, there it is, there it is. About there, it's fine. Okay, I'm just gonna go over to this too as well. There it is. Filter, Gaussian blur, and there it is. There you have it. You're gonna go back, go to our chest area. Still gonna do the same for the chest area. Okay, paste, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Okay, now notice our blur is splitting into areas where I don't know, is it split or splashing into areas where I don't want. So this is why I like to have each of these adjustments sit on a separate layer of their own, because then I can make adjustment on that particular area without it affecting other areas. So I'm going to select my erase tool, and I'm going to go over those areas. See over her shirt area here, you notice it's that splashed into her shirt. I'm just going to take it off right there a little bit. Right about there is fine. So go back to our magic wand tool, and we are now going to go to her hands, make selections, continue making our selections. Now don't forget the dimensions, the lines. I'm talking about the lines Hands. Don't forget the dimensions in the image. You don't want to mess that up. Click OK. Go back to a magic wand tool. Make selection. Control Command C. C and Command V. Control V. Set our radius to the quantity that we want, or to the amount that we want. Then we go over to our hands. Make selection of this area. Now notice there is a bit mark right there, somewhere around this area where we're making that selection. I talked about how you make sure that you allow your subject to maintain a little bit of originality. You don't want to get too excited with some of these tools and so on and so forth. So there it is about this area. I think I kind of like it about that area. Yeah, about that is okay for me. I'm still going to select my erase tool because I notice that splash into areas where I don't want. So just because we have it on a separate layer of its own, we can easily cut that out. And I'm also going to dab into this area as well, because I want to maintain that bed mark right there. So I'm going back to my magic wand tool, continue making my selections in this area, this area. So what we are doing right here, we are even blending it further. Okay, we're even blending it further. So this is where we make our final blending. Now notice how I have avoided some of these areas. I'm gonna go back to my erase tool once more and take that brush size of that brush down, and I'm just gonna go over some of those areas where splashing into, we don't want them. Okay, and now here we go. Let's continue. I wanted to show you the progress of what we have done so far, but I think I should finish before showing you that. Still gonna go back here and make a selection. Now notice whenever I make my I finish, I go back and I select the original low frequency layer to make my selection. That is where we're making our selection from. This is one of those things that I've not told you that I was doing all through this video. So that is why you don't want to keep skipping some of these tutorials when you're watching them. Be patient with yourself when watching some of these tutorials, because there are a few things that you might miss out on in the process. So you don't want to let that slide. Okay, there it is. Same copy and paste. Blur, same Gaussian blur. Here we're reducing the size of our radius a little bit because the quantity of the skin we have there is not that much. Okay, yes, outcome is already popping. It's already popping. Now we're gonna go to our ties. So first of all, setting this area, take a magic wand tool again and begin to continue making that selection. Let's make selection for that area. Filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Blur that area. Click OK, and come back to this other area as well. Notice what I am doing. I'm avoiding some of those curves. These are the little observation, little things that really make your frequency separation to stand out. So there are some things you just have to be intentional about when doing all of this, your frequency separation thing. So go back, select a magic wand tool again. Then still going to continue. Copy, paste, go back to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. I know because of how much you want to save time, sometimes you just repeat the last action, and it's not really that it's not really too advisable, you know, to always go back and repeat your last action, because then again you might not know the quantity of radius that is required for that particular area, so you might just go there and do the whole Gaussian blur thing, and it might not really turn out well. So always take your time, go over those areas, and make sure that quantity of the radius you're using for a particular area in terms of your Gaussian blur, you're changing it from time to time, depending on the area you're making your selection from and all of that. So let's see how we are taking the perfection so further. Okay, continue, moving on. All right. Now her new area is a little bit too dark for my liking, so I think I will have to do something for that her new area. I'll have to do something there. It's good. I just think it's too much about there. It's better. Okay. I'm just going to select our patch tool right here. So I'm going to make a selection of this area very, very quick. It's just too dark for my liking, and I'm just gonna, yep, I think I like it better now, like this. So what we're going to do is just make a selection of this area right here, copy also and paste on a different layer. I'll go to Gaussian blur and just blur that area. Yeah, I know it's looking somehow, right? Don't worry, we're going to correct it. Don't fret. We're going to correct it, but let's just move on. But keep in mind, we're going to make that correction. We're going to make that correction for the but let's just leave it like that for now. We're going to make that correction for the okay, there it is. Okay, filter blur, Gaussian blur. Yep, I like it. I like that area, but I think our foot area is a little bit dark. Now, since we already have the foot area selected on a different layer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press my Ctrl M to bring in my curve adjustment, and I'm going to take my curves a little bit up on that area because it's kind of dark and I don't want it to be that dark. Okay, about there, I think I like it. About there, it's fine. Okay, now I'm going to show you what we have done so far. So all of these areas, all of these adjustments we have here are the skin. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make a selection of all of the skin and group them into one folder and call it skin blend. Okay, so take it a little bit closer to see what we have done. So this is before and after. This is where we did the mixer brush thing, a skin blend, and brought it to this point. And now we'll be on our high frequency layer back on. Now you'll notice what we have here. You see how perfect our skin and almost how spotless our skin is looking, and yet it is still looking good and it's still looking originally okay. All right, now the next thing I like to do is I just like to go over my image to observe. Now because we have our skin blend, our skin on a different layer of its own. Now having selected all of the skin, if you feel like maybe the blur is just too much, I'm beginning to feel like the blur is just too much, so you can just select that particular skin blend folder and just turn down the opacity a little bit. Yep, about 70. It's fine. Yep, I like it. About there is fine. I like it. Now the next thing I'm gonna do is you will notice our image is because this image was not shot as raw image. the details that I was looking out to get for this image is not really showing. Okay, it's not really showing. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to try to improve on the texture of the image. Now remember, if you have been following all through the video, we did try to improve on the texture of the image from Lightroom, and then when we came into Photoshop, we did some, you know, high pass adjustment. You want to go see that video, you know, then this one is going to make sense. So we did all of that, and this is where it got us. Now, having gone this far, you know, when you doing all the blending and all of that, your image loses a little bit of texture, you know, okay? So you want to be able to retain that texture and maintain that texture, because the texture is what makes your image look original and, you know, look okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the high frequency layer, the one I just selected now, and I'm going to duplicate that layer. Now immediately I duplicate that layer, notice our texture has already improved a great deal right there. See how our texture has improved. See what is happening to our texture right here and all of that. So guys, that is it, a tutorial today for the mixer brush and also for the blending. Yeah, mixer brush and blending. So that is it for the tutorial. I hope this tutorial was helpful. I want you to like this video, share it to a friend, and make sure to subscribe, because you are going to be getting videos like this on a daily basis. All right guys, thank you guys for watching. My name is Freeman Achi, and don't forget to look out for another video on how we did the dodge and burn of this particular image right here. You don't want to miss it. So what we have just done here, we have just made those adjustments, and we have not really done the whole dodge and burn thing. And just before I forget, I remember I did promise that we're going to do something about this area of her foot, of her leg right here. So we're just going to do that before we end the tutorial. So what I've done is I've snapped the whole layer into one piece. That's what we have here, into one piece. So what I'm going to do is that I want to, this area right here, I want to correct this area before we move on to the next thing. So what I'm going to do is to make a selection of that area. Out there, it's fine. This is how I'm going to do it. Remember, there's no particular way of doing this thing. You just have to stick to what works for you. So I'm going to copy and paste, and I'm going to drag the skin all the way up here. Okay, so okay, yep. Just gonna look at that. Put it further. All right, that is taken care of. Okay. Okay, so that is taken care of. So it's looking better. Yep. Yep. It's looking better. Just take it down a little bit about that. This point, it's better. Just stretch it a little bit more. Just open it a little bit more. About there, it's fine. I like it. It's better. Okay guys, that is it for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.